Hey everybody, and welcome back to Day 27 blog. This is Damien. If you've been following me, this is Day 27 of my first phase of 55 days of going from being unemployed, overweight, and broke to a place of financial prosperity, good income, good job, and being in better shape than I am right now, both weight-wise and just generally in physical ability and how I can feel and function. So on Day 27, as we're going into it, today I wanted to talk about the topic of integrity. And when I say integrity, a lot of times people think, why even bother talking about integrity? Who has integrity anymore, right? If I say, label some occupations and say, do firemen have integrity? For the most part, people would say yes. If I say, do policemen have integrity? Depending on where you're from and what city you live in, you might say yes or you might say no. If I say, do politicians have integrity? Most people, the majority of Americans, and you have to understand, I'm not ripping on politicians. My dad is actually mayor of my hometown, and so he has integrity. But for the most part, if you ask people, do politicians have integrity? They'll say no. Majority don't feel they do. And it kind of goes around and around about what really integrity is or what it isn't. And I think some people think integrity means never making a mistake. I think people think it means being perfect, and that's not integrity at all. Ralph Waldo Emerson, another quote by him, I often like to quote him, but he said that a little integrity is better than any career. And so the reason I want to talk about integrity is as we're getting into job searching and looking for another occupation and going from being unemployed, I want to make sure that you maintain some form of integrity in regards to that in your life, or I shouldn't say some form. There's only one form of integrity is integrity. Some examples of integrity that I was thinking of, because again, I think we often think too grandiose when you say the word integrity, that it's something so huge that we forget that integrity happens on every level of everyday life. And some examples that I thought of and that I've seen in the past myself is you think about it like when a cashier gives you too much money back, when a cashier gives somebody too much money back. And let's say it's you, and it's too much money. What do? They miscounted. They gave you a 10 when it should have been a 1, or they give you a 5 when it should have been, when you should have got anything back, or whatever it is. And that's a moment to challenge your integrity, to see what kind of integrity you have. I've actually known somebody that I was with that went through a drive-through and got, I think, $10 too much back, and realized it and tore off as quick as they could before they'd even gotten the food. The person gave them the change, and rather than going up to the window and getting the $4 meal to get their food, they just tore right through because they could pull out. It wasn't one of those closed-in drive-through windows, but tore off just because they had made so much more money than what it cost to buy the food. And that, to me, definitely was not integrity. Another example is if someone drops money or something valuable. You see somebody walking, they're shuffling through their pockets, and they go to pull out a receipt or a tissue or something, and a $20 bill crumbles up and falls on the ground. They don't notice it, and they keep walking. What do? Do you walk up behind them and grab it and run away and smile and giggle and laugh that you found $20, or do you pick it up and tap them on the shoulder and let them know that it fell out of their pocket? Another example is a person leaves something valuable behind, and you see them get up, and maybe it's an iPhone at a booth at a fast food joint or a restaurant, or a laptop that they set the bag down in front of a counter to pay and walked out and left forgetting about it, and nobody's around. The counter people disappeared, and so you look at it like, okay, what do? It's things like that that will challenge your integrity every day. And I want to encourage you to have exceptional integrity in every situation, little or small. And the best thing you can do is you can always tell yourself, if so-and-so was here watching me, how would I react? And whether that's your mom, whether it's your dad, whether it's a close relative, close friend, somebody that you admire for their integrity, you could say, to yourself, what would they do? Or how would I react if I knew that they were watching me right now in this situation? And it'll help you have better integrity and help you, therefore, feel better about yourself and more confident and more able to get a job and pursue financial avenues and gains and things like that all come from it. Think about integrity, I think about it as having karma. And, I'm not necessarily big into any kind of theological belief or any kind of systematic belief, but I do believe in a very general term of karma, that what comes around goes around, that how you treat other people and what you do and how you react to situations, for the positive or negative, does affect what happens to you in some way, whether it's the person that sees you do what you did and then goes and repeats it, either the negative, or they see what you did positively and they go repeat it positively, and the world becomes a better place and it comes back around to you. So think about karma. I do want to share one last negative situation regarding this, the having integrity. We just had a thing. I live in Southern Florida, and we just had a thing on the news here the last few days, locally, just right here around where I live, that two parents, and they're like 8 or 9 or 10-year-old boy. They brought him to a restaurant or to a store, and were teaching him how to shoplift, taking clothes and putting him in a baby stroller. And then not only that, but they went to the restaurant above them, that was right above. It was like a double-decker, and the restaurant was on the second floor. And they went up there and they caught the kid on camera running back into the break area, grabbing 3 ladies' purses off of the hooks, running back out by the elevators where nobody could see, and shoving. The mom was helping the son shove these employees' purses into their stroller. And I thought, man, that is by far the best example of the worst integrity that a person could possibly have, to teach their kid that. So with that, have a wonderful day. Keep in mind integrity, and I will talk to you again tomorrow on day 28.